So today I will be continuing with extinction, and the topic will be on KT extension. So with this, I will share my slides. So today I will be talking about KT extension. So before we start, let us talk about the geological time scale and the Cretaceous period. So we know that the history of the Earth and organisms living through it and different aspects are recorded wonderfully in the geology. So you have different layers of soil. The older they are, the more below they are, and the latest ones are on the top. So on the basis of this geology, we could classify the soil different types of regions of the soil. Below you have, these are the eons, then you have era, then you have periods. So you had the oldest soil or the oldest time is the Hadean, then you had the Archean, then you had the Proterozoic, then we have the Phanerozoic. And so in the era, you had the Paleozoic, then Mesozoic and Cenozoic. And then in the periods, you had the Cambrian, the Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, the Carboniferous, the Permian, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, Paleogene, Neogene, Quaternary. So we will be looking at this KT extension, which is KT extinction, which is at this KT boundary, which is present in this region, particular region, where my red pointer is moving. And you have the epoch. We have the Holocene, Pleistocene, Pliocene, Miocene, Oligocene, Eocene, Paleocene. The Cretaceous period can be divided into uh, several regions. Among them, the latest is the Maastrichtian. That is 66 million years ago. We will be talking around this time frame. So we will be talking about this time frame. So KT extension stands for Cretaceous Tertiary extinction, or some people call it CT PG extinction or Paleogene, that particular 66 million years ago. This is a global extinction event that witnessed the elimination of about 70% of the species living on the earth within a very short time, 65 million years ago. This mass extinction is known as KT extinction. These are some of the figures. Some say that it's an asteroid colliding, and then many asteroids colliding, and that change in the atmosphere, and these animals living there, they died out. So the origin of the term, the event KT extinction receives its name from the German word Kreide. It means chalk, which references the chalky sediment of the Cretaceous period, and the word tertiary, which was traditionally used to describe the period of time spanning the Paleogene and the Neogene period. So have a look at the diversity of marine animal families over geological time. We are talking about this region, Cretaceous and Paleogene. Over here, an extinction took place. So you could see among the marine animals, the species diversity, there was a fall of diversity at this region. There were falls at different times, but we are talking about the fall at this thing. This is about marine animal families. Not only marine, we are the extinction happened all over, but we are looking at the marine families. So what are the features of KT extinction? The KT extinction resulted in the elimination of many lines of animals that were important elements of the Mesozoic era, that is 250 million years ago, 266 million years ago, including nearly all of the dinosaurs and many marine invertebrates. They just went off. The only lines of archosaurs, that is the ones of the crocodile, group of the crocodiles, the group of the reptiles that contains the dinosaurs, birds, and the crocodiles survived. Only the crocodile line of archosaurs survived. The others all died out. Only that line which led to the evolution of birds and crocodiles, they lived. Modern birds and crocodiles. Of all the planktonic marine flora and fauna, only about 13% of the coccolithophore and planktonic foraminifera genera remained alive. Among free-swimming mollusks, the ammonoids and the belemnoids became extinct. These are the ammonids. You could see these ammonids over here. They became extinct, the fossils in the rocks. Among other marine invertebrates, the larger foraminiferans died out and the hermatypic corals were reduced to about 1/5 of their genera. Rudist bivalves also disappeared, as did bivalves with a reclining or partially buried life habitat, such as Exogyra and the Gryphia. The stratigraphically important inoceramids also died out. So what are the causes of KT extinction? So this is the K and the T region, Cretaceous and the Tertiary region. There you can see a lot of them. One of them, they're calling it the Deccan Trap. Because of that, there was an extinction. So we will be discussing about the causes of KT extinction. First and important was an impact of asteroids. If an extinctions happen when an asteroid strikes, if an asteroid impact had actually caused a global ecological disaster, it would have led to the sudden extinction of many different groups. Thus, if the asteroid hypothesis were correct, we would expect to find many extinctions in the fossil records that line up exactly with the KT boundary, and a fewer than that occurred in the millions of years leading up to the end of the Cretaceous. So you can see a huge in this border, because if there was an the asteroid impact, that would have led to a global ecological disaster and death of lot of species. So you could see at around this phase, KT phase, Cretaceous Tertiary extinction, there was a huge rise of extinction. Then the Chicxulub impact. So in 1980, it's about the asteroid. A team of researchers consisting of the Nobel Prize winning physicist Luis Alvarez and his son geologist Walter Alvarez and chemist Frank Asaro and Helen Mikkel, they discovered that sedimentary layers found all over the world at the Cretaceous Paleogene boundary contained a concentration of iridium many times greater than normal. That is 30, 160, and 20 times in three sections originally studied. Iridium is actually extremely rare in the Earth's crust because it is a siderophile element which mostly sank along with iron into the Earth's core during planetary differentiation. As iridium remains abundant in most asteroids and comets, they are very abundant in asteroid comets. The Alvarez team suggested that an asteroid struck Earth at the time of the KPG boundary. So, iridium came from this asteroids at the geological boundary between K and T. So, you can see the soil layer between the KT boundary in the Chicxulub crater of the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. They could find an iridium layer iridium rich layer at this boundary. Over you here you had the T soil and here you had the C soil or the K soil. Cretaceous soil and the T soil over here. So if a huge asteroid had struck Earth at the end of the Cretaceous, it would have left behind a huge crater. Thus, if the asteroid hypothesis were correct, and assuming that the crater was not subsequently destroyed by tectonic action, we would expect to find a gigantic crater somewhere on Earth, dating to the end of the Cretaceous. So there was a crater found, the Chicxulub crater at the KT boundary, this Chicxulub crater. Chicxulub is actually a impact crater is in this region. America, this is the Gulf of Mexico, and in this region, the Chicxulub might be the smoking gun of the end of dinosaur extinction, as it has sometimes been called, but in fact, it is far from the last word on the asteroid hypothesis. Apart from the asteroid hypothesis, there were other reasons also for this particular extinction. One more thing was the shocked quartz. So, high pressure causes what is known as shock metamorphism. This deforms the structure of the quartz and creates parallel laminar ripples. It is found all over the world, just not locally. No other processes on the planet creates this type of quartz. So only on impact of meteors and volcanoes, this such a because of the shock and pressure, this rigid line, these type of quartz crystals are formed. It has a microscopic structure different from normal quartz. This is also finding of this at the KT boundary also suggests that there was a asteroid impact. Then you had a tsunami debris. Tsunami debris. If a huge asteroid had struck one of Earth's oceans at the end of the Cretaceous, it would have caused tsunamis, which would have scraped up sediments from the bottom of the ocean and deposited them elsewhere. Thus, if the asteroid hypothesis were correct, we would expect to find debris beds from tsunami at the KT boundary, and they were found. Tsunami beds were found. Then you had impact debris. If a huge asteroid had struck Earth at the end of Cretaceous, it would have flung off particles from the impact site. Thus, if the asteroid hypothesis were correct, we would expect to find particles from the impact site in the KT boundary layer. So this orange wavy line you can see in this layer of soils. This suggests an impact debris from a different region. Then you had tektites or glass which were formed. These tektites or glass beads. Tektites are larger glass beads with unusual shapes and surface textures. They are formed when rocks are instantaneously melted and splashed out of impact size in the form of big goblets of molten glass, then cooled while spinning through the air. Little glass balls are formed because of uh, asteroid impact. So this is also another evidence. Then the next factor for existence was the increasing Maastrichtian volcanism or the Deccan traps. Maastrichtian is the later phase of the Cretaceous. So you had in this region in the Deccan Plateau, you had lots of lava and volcanic flow. And this caused lots of sulfuric aerosols and dust were released into the air. And because of that, light was not unable to reach the earth and photosynthesis was affected, and all the once photosynthesis is affected, all plants died out, and along with it all animals died out because of this lava flow. So this was also one of the reasons for extinction. So in Rajamundri in Andhra Pradesh, you can find that this is the upper trap and this is the in the KTB boundary. You could find in this quarry, such volcanic rocks were found in this region in Rajamundri in the Gauriputnam quarry. This is a picture. There was also a Maastrichtian sea level regression. There is clear evidence that sea level fell in the final stage of the Cretaceous by more than any other time in the Mesozoic area. In some Maastrichtian stage rocks layers from various parts of the world, the latter layers are terrestrial. Earlier layers represent shorelines, and the earliest layers represent seabeds. These layers do not show the tilting and distortion associated with mountain building. Therefore, the likeliest expression is a regression, a drop in sea level. There is no direct evidence for the cause of regression, but the currently accepted explanation is that the mid-ocean regions became less active and they sank under their own weight. So, a severe regression would have greatly reduced the continental shelf area, the most species-rich part of the sea, and therefore would have been enough to cause a marine mass extinction. So because of sea level regression, the continental shelf region got exposed outside, and this was a very marine rich region, and lots of species became extinction. And you could see from the Maastrichtian stage rock layers in various parts of the world that the later layers, they are terrestrial. They are top layers. The earlier layers represent shorelines. So a shoreline could have been seen in the earlier soil layers, and therefore they represented sea beds, and they uh, just regressed. So you could see in this KT region, this is the sea level regression. So you could see that the sea level began to go down and down and down. So during this started to regress. It fell down. The sea level fell down and highest at this border, and this caused a lot of extinction. Then there is the multiple impact event. Other crater-like topographic features have also been proposed as impact craters formed in connection with the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction. This suggests the possibility of near simultaneous multiple impacts, perhaps from a fragmented asteroidal object, similar to the Shoemaker-Levy 9 impact with Jupiter. This was an impact which happened in Jupiter. In addition to the 180-kilometer Chicxulub crater, there is the 24-kilometer Boltish crater. Apart from the Chicxulub, you find that the Boltish crater, Silver Pit crater, Shiva crater, there were different craters which have been formed. Suggests there were many such asteroid impacts taking place. So David Archibald and David Fastovsky discussed a scenario combining three causes: volcanism, marine sea regression, and extraterrestrial impact from asteroids. So all these things caused particulate materials and to come stop photosynthesis, and it blocked the food chain. As a result, no photosynthesis, no plants, no food for animals, and they all died out. So studies of the Seymour Island in Antarctica, Sierra Peterson and colleagues, they argue that there were two separate extinction events near the Cretaceous. They say that there were two separate events near the KT boundary, one correlating with the Deccan Trap volcanism and one with the Chicxulub impact. So it was two separate, it was not together. One Deccan Trap happened, one Chicxulub. During Deccan Trap, many died. During Chicxulub, many died. This was this multiple one another multiple causes hypothesis. So, what is the result of this KT extinction? The elimination of dominant Cretaceous groups allowed other organisms to take their place, causing a remarkable amount of species diversification during the Paleogene period. The most striking example is the replacement of dinosaurs by mammals. After the KPG extinction, mammals evolved rapidly to fill the niches left vacant by dinosaurs. Also significant within the mammalian era, new species were approximately 9.1% larger after the KPG boundary. Based on molecular sequencing and fossil dating, many species of birds appeared to radiate after the KPG boundary. They even produce giant flightless forms such as the herbivorous Gastornis and the Dromornithidae and the predatory Phorushacidae. The extinction of Cretaceous lizards and snakes may have led to the evolution of modern groups such as the iguanas, monitor lizards, and boas. On land, giant boaid and enormous madsoid snakes appeared, and in the seas, giant sea snakes evolved. Teleost fish diversified, and major changes are also seen in the Paleogene insect communities also. Many groups of ants were present in the Cretaceous, but in the Eocene, ants became dominant and diverse with larger colonies. Butterflies also diversified to take the place of leaf-eating insect wiped out by extinction. The advanced mound-building termites, the termitae, also appeared to have risen in importance during the next stage. So, with this actually ends my class. Do you people have got any questions? কারোর কোনো question আছে? কোয়েশ্চেন নেই তো বন্ধ করে দিচ্ছি।